Imagine a story set in the golden landscape of Del Mar, California, that could rival any dramatic film. Central to this tale is Tatyana Remley, whose passion for horses leads her to a fateful meeting with Mark Remley, a wealthy corporate figure at a Starbucks. Their life together unfolds like a dream, set in a luxurious $5.3 million estate with all the trappings of affluence, including exotic vacations and high-end cars. Yet beneath this surface of glamour and opulence, their perfect life soon encounters serious challenges. What starts as an idyllic narrative quickly spirals into a series of dramatic events, including weapons charges, legal troubles, salacious orgies, and even a police sting operation. How did this couple, once emblematic of success in high society, find themselves in the midst of such tumultuous circumstances? Join us as we dive into the intriguing details of their extraordinary saga. Del Mar, California, situated in San Diego County, is renowned for its affluent equestrian community and the prominent horse shows held there annually. The Del Mar racetrack, known for its exciting horse races, attracts visitors from far and wide. Combining natural beauty with luxury, Del Mar offers a mix of relaxation and entertainment, making it a desirable location for many. It was in this upscale setting that the Remleys resided for 14 years. Enjoying the amenities and lifestyle that Del Mar is celebrated for.
When I was about 14, I went to this Russian Cossack circus. It's different than your regular circuses in the U.S. It's just stunning. A lot of amazing riding with the rider going under the horse, under the belly at a dead gallop. Just edge of your seat suspension and just intensity. And it hit me, and it was just this, this desire started growing in me.
42-year-old Tatyana Remley was born in December 1980 in Phoenix, Arizona. She dabbled in modeling in her early adult years and worked in an animal park for some time, but does not have an extensive work history. A divorced mother of two, her passion lay firmly in the world of equestrian pursuits, particularly polo and dressage, as she harbored ambitions to work in this field. Fortune seemed to smile on her during an unexpected encounter at a Starbucks where she met Mark Remley. Their connection was instant, and for Tatyana, it felt like striking gold. That's because Mark was renowned not just for his charisma and kindness, but also for his substantial wealth and status. He held the position of Executive Vice President and Chief Information Officer at Signal Corporation from 1987 to 2004. As one of the co-founders, Mark was instrumental in transforming the company from a modest startup with 4 employees to a large enterprise boasting 1,600 employees and annual sales surpassing $600 million. Mark relocated to Southern California shortly after the successful sale of Signal. Beyond his corporate success, Mark has a portfolio of businesses and owns several luxury properties throughout California. His father, a notable figure in the technology sector with a range of valuable patents, is said to have bequeathed a significant portion of his valuable patents to Mark. Reports also indicate that Mark inherited around $26 million from his parents. Mark and Tatyana's relationship quickly flourished, culminating in their marriage in March 2011. While they didn't have children together, their marriage united their families, including Tatyana's 2 children and Mark's 2 from previous relationships. Mark's financial achievements enabled them to enjoy a life of luxury, as later detailed in court documents. The couple resided in an opulent $5.3 million home located in the upscale area of Del Mar, conveniently close to the polo fields. Tatyana had free reign over credit cards, often spending upwards of $50,000 monthly. In their world of indulgence, Tatyana and Mark were no strangers to the finer things in life, including the services of bodyguards, drivers, personal assistants, sports cars, and prized horses. Tatyana owned a high-end trailer worth $135,000 to transport her horses to and from various prestigious events. Regarding their relationship dynamics, Multiple sources suggested that Mark was utterly enamored with Tatyana and had difficulty saying no to her requests. Tatyana, on the other hand, was often perceived as the dominant partner. Mark was always there to support Tatyana's every desire and dream, regardless of how lavish or bold they were. He invested heavily in her entrepreneurial ventures, each one ambitious but often lacking in practical business savvy. Initially, he invested in her passion for polo, financing a team she aspired to lead to glory. This venture quickly stumbled and fell short of success. Yet, one dream burned brighter in Tatyana's heart than all others. Cavaglia is a show that blends horse artistry and acrobatics, kind of like Cirque du Soleil meets dressage. For Tatyana, this wasn't just a passing interest. It was a vision that captivated her soul. She was uncompromising about creating a show that would compete against Cavaglia, as she explained in an interview in 2012.
And it hit me, and it was just this, this desire started growing in me to want to create a show that's different from anything that's ever been created. I'm so excited. This is my dream come true, and I want to bring this magic to the lives of everyone that will allow me to bring it to them. A lot of people love horses and can't have them. And so by coming here, they live this dream, and they can touch them and come close to them and see them and experience magic.
An inspired Tatyana and Mark embarked on creating their own show, Valitar, hoping it would emulate Cavaglia's triumphs. They established a corporation and invested heavily in the venture, bringing together a talented ensemble of performers and crew. A significant part of their costs went into constructing a massive 45,000 square foot mobile red tent. They booked over 40 performances at the Del Mar Fairgrounds and anticipated extending the show to a 4-city tour. The total amount they invested in Valitar is estimated to be between $4 and $5 million, with some published reports exceeding $10 million. Valitar's much-anticipated premiere was set for November 2012 in San Diego and was poised to launch the Remleys as equestrian industry luminaries. The couple threw a lavish opening event party where a photograph captured Tatyana holding a belt tied around Mark's neck. This was not merely a pose for the camera. As reported by the New York Post, Mark allowed Tatyana to lead him around by the belt for a significant part of the evening, symbolizing the power balance in their relationship. The Remleys had high hopes for Valitar, but staff later revealed considerable problems before launch. Tatyana had nowhere near the horse riding ability of the seasoned professionals, yet Mark and Tatyana insisted on making her the show's star. She's not a good horse rider, and he wanted her to be the star of the show and all of us to kowtow to her, said one cast member. This caused so much tension that the original director and much of the staff quit following these demands. Logistically, staff were also concerned about having to compete with an already established horse show just minutes away. In the end, Valitar struggled to attract a large audience, leading to dismal ticket sales that couldn't cover the costs of operation. After just 4 performances, Mark and Tatyana simply walked away from the production, taking with them 24 of their personally owned horses. The remaining show horses and performers were left stranded at the fairgrounds. There was no feed for the animals, and the performers, who'd come from all over North America, were not compensated. This debacle forced Mark to declare bankruptcy, initiating a financial downfall. The couple faced a series of asset liquidation auctions and numerous claims from unpaid staff and vendors. The pressures of legal battles and financial liabilities took a toll beyond finances, straining the Remleys' marriage and transforming a partnership once aligned by dreams and opulence into one struggling with failure and disillusionment. This led to an eventful 2013 in which the couple separated, filed for divorce, but ultimately chose to reconcile. After Valitar folded, Mark backed Tatyana's next project, a luxury indoor cycling studio named Rhythm and Power in Solana Beach. The studio launched in May of 2015, but 1 year later, members received an email announcing the gym's immediate closure for supposed improvements. This was swiftly followed by the shutdown of their website. The studio closed abruptly, earning only $51,000 in revenue that year with a staff of 5, as reported by BuzzFile.com. In 2017, after facing several business and legal challenges, Mark and Tatyana ventured into reality TV. They featured on the Showtime series Naked Sanctum, a documentary that delved into the experiences of members in an exclusive sex club famous for its partner-sharing practices.
Sex is probably the biggest part of our life.
Yes.
Sex is the center of our universe, and everything we derive around it revolves around it.
Correct.
And in the beginning of our relationship, we weren't into this lifestyle. But as time grew on and our sexuality grew together, we opened up to this type of experience.
And Sanctum made it all that much more amazing.
During the show, Tatyana openly expressed her adventurous side, revealing her interest in both men and women and her penchant for pushing limits. The documentary featured her engaging in intimate acts with various women. Mark described himself as an adrenaline junkie, someone who thrives on risk and living on the edge. He emphasized the centrality of sex in their lives. This shift in their relationship dynamics was palpable. What once was a partnership also united by mutual ambitions and shared business ventures had morphed into a pursuit of thrill-seeking and boundary-pushing experiences, with an apparent focus on exploring physical connections with others. According to one close friend, their lifestyle was reckless. It was toxic. They were both having sexual relationships with all kinds of other people. There were prostitutes, strippers, sex clubs. By May 2023, the relationship between Mark and Tatyana had deteriorated significantly, but they were still living separately under the same roof. That is, until May 21st. In her statements to the court, Tatyana recounted a disturbing incident that allegedly took place on that date. She described how Mark's friends forcibly entered her locked bedroom and assaulted her as Mark watched. She also alleged that Mark threatened her life and that a valuable horse statue was destroyed with its head left in her bed in a manner reminiscent of a scene from The Godfather. Even though Tatyana made grave accusations, it is unclear whether police were involved at that time. We do know that Mark wasn't charged right away. Following the alleged incident, Tatyana left their shared residence, which led to their separation. This move cut off her access to their luxurious mansion and properties, along with her typical monthly expenditure of $50,000. In response to these allegations, Mark told the Coast News in an interview that the accusations were completely fabricated. Meanwhile, on June 18th, a seemingly reflective and upset Tatyana posted an ominous message on Facebook which read, "Maturity is when you have the power to destroy someone who did you wrong, but you just breathe, walk away, and let life take care of them." The message seemed to suggest that Tatyana chose not to seek revenge against someone who wronged her, preferring instead to let justice or fate take its course. This stance is notable, especially in light of an incident reported by the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. On July 2nd, at about 7:30 p.m., deputies received a call about a raging fire at Mark's estate. The responding officers found the house engulfed in flames and severely damaged. Coincidentally, at the property that day was Tatyana and a friend. Despite her denial of involvement in the fire's origin, a furious Mark accused her of starting it. Although she wasn't immediately charged for the fire, the case was handed over to the Bomb and Arson Unit for further investigation. Yet, Tatyana's troubles didn't end there. She was arrested on 2 firearms-related charges after deputies found her in possession of loaded firearms registered to someone else. She was taken to the Vista detention facility, only to be later released on her own recognizance. 9 days after the fire, Tatyana moved to file for divorce. In her legal documents, she recounted the assault allegations from May in detail. She also asked the court to order her husband to pay $15,000 a month in spousal support. She justified this by stating she hadn't worked for years and now needed to support herself, with plans to attend medical school. Tatyana pointed out that she was asking for significantly less than the $50,000 monthly she was accustomed to. She also appealed to the court to allow her access to their Del Mar property during the divorce, intending to stay in a trailer since the main house was damaged in the July fire. But in a stunning twist, an astonishing incident would occur, potentially ensuring that none of these requests would come to fruition. August 2nd, 2023 dawned with a sense of impending retribution. On this fateful day, Tatyana made her way to a Starbucks in Solana Beach for a rendezvous with a mysterious man. Dressed casually in a tank top and sweatshorts, she appeared relaxed as she met the man. Together, they ordered mango dragon fruit beverages and settled at a secluded table on the rear patio. But just as the meeting seemed to be getting underway, the man excused himself to go to the restroom. In that instant, the mood dramatically shifted. Suddenly, as if emerging from the shadows, 4 San Diego police officers appeared from 2 vehicles, converging directly on Tatyana.
A North County woman who made headlines for having failed businesses is now facing charges of trying to kill her millionaire husband. As ABC 10 News reporter Austin Grabish discovered, the woman had recently filed for divorce.
It was this Starbucks of all places where Tatyana Remley was arrested earlier this month for trying to hire someone to kill her husband.
News of Tatyana's arrest stunned the community, but officers appeared to have an ironclad case against her. She was caught on record offering an undercover detective $2 million to kill her husband. The sheriff's department stated, she went into detail about how she wanted the murder carried out and the disposal of her husband's body. Tatyana was also in possession of a substantial amount of cash, presumably intended as a down payment for the crime. Additionally, she had 3 loaded firearms not registered in her name. Tatyana was arrested and transported to the Las Colinas Detention and Reentry Facility to await her court hearing. She faces up to 9 years in state prison and an additional year for the firearms felony. Tatyana pleaded not guilty to all charges on August 4th, and the court denied her request for bail. The arrest report details the setup of the sting operation against Tatyana. It began when a mutual friend approached Mark Remley and told him that Tatyana had tried to recruit him for a plot to kill Mark. Acting on this alarming information, Mark reported the matter to the police. The police then orchestrated a sting operation using an undercover detective, arranging a meeting with Tatyana at a Starbucks. After her arrest, Mark reiterated to the police he firmly believed that Tatyana was responsible for burning down their house just a few days before she attempted to organize the murder plot, as reported by the Coast News. As of the date of this upload, there's been insufficient evidence to bring charges against Tatyana related to the fire.
I've always wanted to start a show.
In the wake of Tatyana's arrest, which garnered significant media coverage, various individuals came forward to shed light on her background. One key aspect that emerged was her previous marriage to Ken Wolcott, a Seattle-based real estate developer and part owner of the Seattle Supersonics NBA team, prior to the team's relocation to Oklahoma City. Her past, as depicted by Wolcott, who is 20 years older, was marked by turmoil. He described her upbringing in rural Oregon and northern San Diego as quite secluded. Wolcott stated in court filings, Tatyana was kept isolated on rural property in Valley Center without school, social activities, and interaction with her community. Moreover, I now understand that one of their religious tenets is the rejection of traditional medicine and medical care professionals, further noting that her isolation was so strict that she was even prevented from seeing her childhood friends to keep her secluded lifestyle from being discovered. He summarized, essentially, Tatyana was held captive for about 10 years, starting from age 9. The marriage between the couple, though short-lived at just 11 months, resulted in the birth of a son with special needs. What followed was an extensive and acrimonious custody battle. According to the documents filed in court, Wolcott claimed that Tatyana had misused his finances, utilizing his credit cards for her own advantage. He further accused her of being inattentive to their son's needs and alleged that she was using the child support money for personal expenses. Wolcott also raised concerns about the unstable home environment Tatyana provided for their son, citing an incident where Mark Remley reportedly discharged a firearm in their house. In a statement to the court attempting to mitigate his child support obligation, Wolcott said, "While I understand that Tatyana recently had a child, many single mothers have to return to work after giving birth so they can provide for their children. Why is Tatyana an exception to this rule? The answer is that she can live comfortably on the money she receives from the fathers of her 2 children. Living comfortably means that she can rent in Rancho Santa Fe, drive a late model Lexus vehicle, support her mother, pursue her passion for horses, and support 2 minor children." Ultimately, Wolcott was awarded full custody of their son, but continued to pay child support to Tatyana of his own volition. Tatyana had a second child, a daughter with another wealthy man, who was also paying her monthly child support according to court documents. Wolcott alleged she spent most of the nearly $108,000 of annual child support payments she received from both her exes on herself and her horses. As far as Mark Remley, while he has no convictions on record, he has faced multiple allegations of violent conduct in the past, including a civil lawsuit alleging assault and battery in a 2009 incident. He was sued for allegedly confronting his ex-wife's riding instructor and punching him in the face after suspecting the trainer was making moves on his wife. Mark Remley denied the blow to the plaintiff's face was intentional. Ultimately, the case was dismissed on April 10, 2010, after the parties agreed to a settlement. Tatyana Remley's life, marked by glamour and controversy, has been a journey from humble beginnings to a world filled with luxury and scandal, resembling a plot from a gripping novel. Her arrest and the serious accusation of soliciting murder have added a somber tone to her story. This raises a significant question. Is Tatyana the mastermind behind her own misfortune, acting out of ill will and avarice? Or is she a victim of her circumstances, possibly driven to her actions by battered spouse syndrome, as is anticipated to be a key point in her defense? As 2024 nears, and with a trial pending, unless there's a plea agreement, the Del Mar community, especially those in the equestrian sector, is poised to closely observe the unfolding of justice in the case of California versus Tatyana Remley.